Ew, what is good? My anime face, what is good? I fully was surprised. Um, no one dies in this show, man. Literally, I will never doubt someone being actually alive or dead until they put them in the ground and we see their body. So I'm pretty sure the master is still alive. Okay, I'm just gonna say that he did use his energy to try to protect them, and they said they couldn't sense him, but pretty sure they couldn't sense Heckle or whatever when he was under magma. So I don't think that matters. This show just has a very interesting concept on death, and I will say that. Uh, the other thing that's interesting about how they're playing with death and whatnot is we never really get an answer as to what can truly be done with the amount of potential the main character has. Like, right, like Dai's potential is ridiculously broken, and at this point, we have now seen probably where he needs to continue to excel in, which is just fighting with his eyes pretty much closed or just sensing where the enemies are and relaxing in the fight instead of no reacting and fighting as hard as possible just because um, you know how dangerous the enemy is, you know how crazy their moves look, you know your sight can definitely mess you up. So it's kind of crazy to see just how ridiculous Dai has gotten this fast. Not only that, but to also know how much uh, potential he still has. He's just like a baby, right? Like this is a 14-year-old or like an 11 or 12-year-old. I am not sure, but he's a Gerber baby, and knowing that he only has that much more chance to grow because of how, you know, much potential and time he still has to do. It's obvious that this is not something any of these people want to deal with when it comes down to the Legion, right? Like, we know for a fact that someone who got beat up by him wanted all of his Legion people to pretty much jump him while he was still weak, and now here we are with him being this pretty much unstoppable force. And let me remind you, the part that really actually scares me about how ridiculously powerful Dai is, he hasn't done that transformation right there. He has not shown any uh, necessary use of that power. He was pushed pretty much to the brink of death, but I guess it wasn't close enough for him to unlock that potential. Or, as I think, he is slowly but surely earning it normally, right? Like, it is just something a part of him. It is something that, for some odd reason, is going to be the thing that makes him just that much stronger, like to reach newer heights. But outside of that, if it is how I think it's going to be, we're probably going to be looking at somebody showing up yet again, or since the previews show that this battle isn't necessarily over after hitting the core. I don't know how. You see what I'm saying? He, oh man, he hits the core that's supposed to kill this guy, and supposedly next week's episode he's fighting him still to the end. So you know that just goes to show you how much steps and craziness can go into people living over dying when things are specifically stated that that would probably end them. So I do feel foolish for my last title now that I was like, oh, a death battle, because my man got penetrated through the chest. Are you? Can you blame me? Stabbed through the chest. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me elaborate. Stabbed through the chest, and then set on fire while he was stabbed through the chest. So he got his insides cooked, literally. Then the guy uses all of his inner energy, so he uses life energy, and don't think I wasn't gonna see all the things that either this show was using or and took influence from Yu Yu Hakusho or vice versa. Literally, there are two huge Yu Yu Hakusho uh, kind of there's spoilers, I guess, if you haven't seen it, but there are things. The core is in Yu Yu Hakusho, an enemy with that same mechanic, right? And the other thing is using life energy is pretty much the same equip, or like using your spirit energy, but then using your life energy will actually kill it. Like it uses what is you. So that moment of just like clarity of him saying like, yeah, I'll use it all just to claim the thing that I want is pretty much the equivalent of every single battle of Yusuke Urameshi pushing to such a far point just to win the battle. He'll risk even his life if it means winning, right? So there's so much familiar story elements that are going on. My mind was just in a good place listening to it. Like it brought me back to so many old school classics and just mechanics of how they work. And man, this was an amazing episode. I am fully hooked on this show and I can't wait to see what they actually do with it at the end of the day. With all that being said, I hope y'all have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be when you're watching this. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I will definitely talk to you sooner than later. Peace. What? He went from blue to, huh?